She does that with her personality, with her artistry, and even with her smile and her kindness. And so I welcome you, Miss Savannah Nix.
And the reason is, well, I love dresses, obviously, and I really wanted to know what was behind them and what their structure was. And you can't shut it. And I tried to ask some people that I knew who were good sewers how you do it, and they really just couldn't put it into words. And now that I've done the research and I've had experience, I see that I can't explain it in just 10 minutes. You really just have to make a dress and research it. So I'm going to go a little bit into dress styles and then fitting them to your figure, how to make a dress that fits you well. And so next slide, please. Okay, so first, this is a mermaid. You can see the bottom looks like a mermaid tail. Mermaid dress styles are tight and fitted down to the knees where they flare out and resemble the tail of a mermaid. Mermaid dresses and trumpet gowns are, they can be very in between the two styles, so it's kind of hard to tell them apart, but yeah, that if it was just a little bit higher, that could be called a trumpet. Okay, next. Trumpet dresses are fitted down to mid-thigh where it flares out, and the trumpet gowns are very close in design and many times are made in between the two styles of those. Okay, next slide. Ball gowns, which, is one of my favorites. A ball gown is the most formal attire for social occasions. It is usually a full skirted gown reaching the floor, made of luxurious fabric, delicately and exotically trimmed. This is very soft if you get a chance to feel it. It's like when I first bought the fabric, I was like, oh yeah, I want this as my bed. Okay. A-line gowns are named for their skirt's shape, which resembles an A. That is the most simple writing, but they usually have tight-fitted bodices, and their styles vary with pick-up skirts like this and lace trimmings and whatever you want to detail it with. Empire waist. You're probably going to see a lot of these old patterns. I love the art on them, so. Empire waist dresses, smallest point, is under the bust, then the skirt flows short, knee length or floor length. Okay. This dress style is very popular for dances or parties or wherever, because some of them are just fitted right under the bust, but some of them have the thicker, and it doesn't show your stomach as much if you have a little extra flab. So, with Americans these days. Okay, never mind. Okay, next slide.
No, of course not.
Okay, drop waist. The bodice is fitted around the entire torso and dropped to fit around the hips. So this is a very, very dropped waist. It could almost be a trumpet, and that is a higher drop waist. It's more relaxed. Okay, next. Flattering your figure. Okay. Finding a dress style is very important, but if you go try on that one dress you pictured yourself in and it's super unflattering, what should you do? Doing your dress homework can help you so much to find the perfect fit and save you from dress heartbreak. Okay, next. So here's a fancy little thing I did. Okay. Hourglass figures look great in corset and sweetheart tops. Avoid empire waist and ball gowns. Mermaid and trumpet gowns are for a bit more curvaceous figures. That's hourglass is obviously shaped like an hourglass, so their smallest point is their waist, and they have very defined waists, and their shoulders and hips are perfectly or very closely aligned. Triangle, that is actually the wrong way. It's supposed to be upside down. It means that they have extra broad shoulders and narrower hips. And V-neck, thick straps, scoop neckline, and detail from the middle on down work well with triangle figures. Avoid puffed sleeves, halter tops, and off-the-shoulder necklines. With this dress, these dresses, you really want to bring more attention, kind of try to even it out. So putting detail around the bottom and around there can help put some more in between your broad shoulders and your smaller half. So you might, bigger dresses, not this big, but A-line, would be well flattering to create an illusion. If it goes out, down, and then up, it's easy, obviously, wow, forgot that word. Aligned. Okay, apple is where you're just very round, not much shape. Empire will flatter your waist, as I said before. And a line with a drop waist will flatter you too. Stay away from princess and tighter fitting around the middle section dresses. Okay, pear, smaller bust and top shoulders and very big hips. Princess style disguises hips and helps balance. So you can hide your not so good half underneath a big dress like this and show off your top. And it helps even it out too. Slim, which I couldn't find a good picture for it, so I just found a slim yogurt. I just typed in slim yogurt because, you see a lot of those. Slim is short or tall with undefined waist. They call this also ballerina figure. And sheath flatters slender figure. Fitted gowns with high neckline look amazing on the shape. Petite, that is a little dash hound. It's kind of hard to see. So pretty much little tiny frames with that are very short. Simple is best. I have seen a lot on Saves the Dress. Little short tiny girls wanting the big bang with a lot of detail and dresses that just swallow them. You don't want your dress to eat you, or you don't want it to wear you. You want to be wearing your dress. So, ball gowns and mermaids tend to overwhelm. Sheath is perfect. Narrow A-line also works well. Just as long as it's not overwhelming or making them look even shorter, you just want to avoid that. A giraffe, meaning very tall, like me. Stay away from empire line dresses because obviously when you're way up above everybody else and the only thing that's close to you is right here, and you have all the rest flowing, it looks a lot like a tent. Mermaids are ideal because they hug you all the way down, and then you can have a little bit of flair and expression at the bottom. Okay, next. Okay, detail. So Once you find the best style for your figure and taste, look for detail that can even further enhance the style. So with the triangle shape, you wanted to bring it down to even it out. Where you put detail, it can help you look better and help the dress even out. You really want to be even. Walking around with a very big top and very small bottom, it looks like you're going to fall over. Okay. Next slide. Measurements. Getting correct measurements is so important if you want a perfect fit. So when I was making this dress, I had to measure myself before to know what my dress size was. And when I start doing the very curvy parts on the sewing machine, that is very, very difficult, but for most people, but I had an okay time with that. You want to make sure that you get the perfect measurements so that there won't be big lumps or bubbles that will look very unattractive. Okay, and this is the proper way to measure yourself for getting a wedding dress done for you, or I don't know, a prom dress that somebody's making for you. Okay, next. Patterns. Now that you've got an idea of what you're looking for, stop by a local crafting store for a dress pattern in your dress size. Cutting a pattern is one of the hardest parts of sewing a dress because of all the measuring you have to do to get the perfect angles. Okay. When I was cutting out this dress, there were so many pieces and they were so easy to lose. With each piece, it has a line down the middle for you to measure to the hem, to the hem of the fabric, and you have to put it right on the grain. That's what my grandma taught me, and it just has to be all perfectly measured, or it will not turn out well. Okay, next. Fabric and supplies. Patterns will usually have recommended fabrics, which I did not use for my bell dress, so I learned the hard way by using a slippery, difficult fabric to sew. Getting your supplies in the right sizes and yarding is very important. So there's little pieces to these dresses. I have buttons down my back that I had to cover every single one, and at first I thought that I didn't get enough, so that would only close up half of my dress, which, you can run to the store, but when you're on a time crunch like I was, that was very, very scary. Yardage is very important too. When I first got my fabric, I thought I was going to be making my own pattern, so I just ordered 6, but then when I got an actual pattern, it called for 8, and the person who had this fabric, I didn't want to get any other fabric because I wanted it to match. She said that she didn't have any more, and then she found some, luckily. Okay, next. Newspaper dress. So I was not able to load the picture off my mom's thing, off her. What? Yeah, but it's right there. It's right here. Look at that. So I made this for our winter ball. The reason I wanted to get a picture of it was because from all the extreme amazing dancing I was doing, the whole bodice was kind of withered by, going like that and stuff. And I did the worm a couple of times, and that really shredded up my skirts. So, with help, I made the bodice. I used an old t-shirt that was nice and tight and fitted to me, and we wrapped me up in duct tape, nice and tight, right under the bust and carefully over the bust, and trying not to get on my pants. Did it nice and low because I like the dropped waist look. Then I had to fold like a million newspapers, and I really like the funnies because they've got the little pop of color, and I don't like just plain gray, so I folded and folded and folded, and then I hot glue gunned all of it to the bodice and the back. The back is corseted, which now the holes have been busted to, it's in bad condition. The holes are busted, so I had to redo a ton of hot glue on there, and it's still not working. But this dress form actually isn't my size, so it was even smaller on me. So that's my newspaper dress. And this was the very first picture of a newspaper dress I ever saw. And I was just like, whoa, holy camoli. How did they, whatever designer, how did they make that? And I was like, how could I make one of those? That would be cool, but I had no idea. So with my imagination and creativity, I came up with that with one of my Hamburg teachers, Mrs. Gal. And that's just another picture of one I found on the internet that had a cool, big skirt. And some origami on the top. I thought that was cool. Okay, next slide. A world of dressmaking. So here I have Angela Johnson is one of my favorite designers. She uses old thrift store t-shirts to make these amazing dresses. So that's one of hers right here. That was an inspiration for this dress. That's just a normal dress that you could make at home. It's pretty simple. That is a ton of plastic bags from different stores. That's another t-shirt, A-line ball gown. That's a wedding dress. So it's basically saying all the possibilities of dresses you can make. It is endless. I have looked at fashion on the internet, and it is extensive. It is so wide. There is a sea of dresses out there, and I know you can find one that is perfect for you. Okay, next slide. Questions or comments? Wait, what?
How many dresses have you made to date on your own?
Oh yeah, I was going to say something about that. So this is the very first full dress I've ever made, and I chose a wedding dress for my very first dress. Unless you're like me, don't do that. Okay. So to date, I've done that one, this one. I started working on a trash bag dress, and for my Renaissance report, I did the bottom of a dress, and then I just wore a nice blouse with that. Okay. Kaylee? Okay.
How long did it take you to make
A long time. Like, Sister Benson, how many hours? Like, around 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks hours. Daddy.
Who all do you want to acknowledge and publicly thank for all?
I would like to give a humongous, ginormous, just universe plus beyond big thank you to Donna Benson, my grandma Holtree, and Robin Gow. No, I mean, you've got a lot of like room space in here. It's like a tent. It's really big. So it's not too bad as long as you don't step on the back when you're backing up.
I think we're running a little long, so